SC. I like the reference. Amplified technology, like what became of Tesla's inventions, it doesn't consider the cost of anything not associated with the benefit. The contrails are flowing inward, residual benefit, customer service in both directions becomes the interplay that over time becomes the standard. In a way, replication around price competitiveness can be the worst form of human government when it intersects with formidable technology. Over time an inversion reference forms, and it is unstoppable because there is no forum for agreement where a leverage of option can give one perspective an advantage if the other prisms recede from the invention. TM. Like the atom bomb. SC. That was the problem in my view, and maybe Mark Twain's view also, with Tesla's idea of a mass-scale weapon to end all wars. In a way the atom bomb was a similar message, but if you do not dominate to scale, the other powers will find a way. So the replication of technology works like this, and it's coming to a horizon with artificial life for technology. Man, in the current context of what we still consider a criminal vortex, is always seeking something to replace the effort. I thought of this while watching a show on Jewish technology regarding the Sabbath, all sorts of devices to help them get around all the inconveniences, as if effort itself was the thing to be avoided. It's more like an unwinding of the tension. The relaxing allows for new thoughts to form, not relating necessarily from the former momentum of what people consider the work week, etc. We wind in right to left, and wind out left to right as far as the turning. If you were to spin one direction or another until you're dizzy and then stand still, it seems like the motion reference is swirling around you and the balance seems unstable. If though you spin the other direction you will achieve the former equilibrium more quickly, keep spinning thought and the momentum or image reference, and the sensations begin to swirl with that momentum, and becomes a dominant surfacing of form in the environment semi-neutral. So in a way we create the momentum by turning in, taking things in, and that momentum creates traction for an outward display. Most typically being trained for a position or told generally what was expected. You listen, take it in, learn the job, what's easy about the expectations, what's hard, and over time there is a general momentum, large and day-to-day momentum that is shifting back and forth. The experience of it, if you imagine turning one way and then the other, imagine you were slipping into a cocoon with one turn, and then one turn back, and then 2 turns in, and 3 turns back. In that way we begin to achieve an elevated momentum related to the prisms of the observable regarding a pyramid rising from the sand from our perspective. Well done. A new platform of achievement has been experienced with total content dispersal. The reference though is 3 to 9 for one display. We pull in together a sense of purpose, context analysis, what the goals are for, where we are, for the operation or mission maybe in our cases. Sensational flow to an oriental momentum. The experience is similar to Marshall Mathers. You have an interest in something, start mimicking your favorites, then by the time Dre happened to find him he was traveling on a free-form circuit doing what he loved for very little pay. We all have dreams of performing what we created as ourselves. What we're lacking sometimes is the opportunity. It's kind of like fasting in the sense that no one can do it for you, there's no advice that's meaningful, you won't have the mind or energy or even memory of someone else to draw from. It's just a blank space to start from. In our case, the end of progress is the interpretation. For them, it is finished. Remember the momentum reference and everything will be okay. TM. I'm hoping to ask you about dark energy, the expansive element found in our galaxy. We are studying that at the moment and your theory seemed as good as anything, haha. But first, my mom, I'm trying to understand. You said her first vent, like on the back of the penny, was her family, like anyone, Mormonism, then Christianity. The next vent to image was my dad, then her decision to become a therapist, then meet my sisters, and so on. What is different about her than me, than you? How do you see yourself being different in the sense of your own accomplishment? She started her own business, has done a lot of things I don't think were done before. Is it just a preference in your story, people you like or don't like? SC. Venter image, that's funny. I used to call it will to progress. Will to value was used. TM. Will to power, that was Nietzsche, I think he used it positive from what I remember. SC. He did, but he understood the condition of the famous politician as the sum image for everyone else, inverse angles. His critique of Wagner in Beyond Good and Evil was a really accurate description of the German political landscape. TM. He turned it inside out. SC. I think so, you never know. Wagner was like a German Jay-Z, would have seemed kind of corny to me. TM. My mom. SC. Oh yes. I used your memory to apply for me a general description. Even when the display happens over and over, I choose not to know. I used to. It's become more dangerous now though. In your case it was just the one person we both knew. I don't know enough about her to make a determination. It is only relevant for me in a personal circumstance. My position isn't judgment, the sense I get is beyond the useful distinction. Judgment is mostly just not relevant. Not something anyone here is interested in. TM. So you don't think my mom is dangerous? SC. Would she welcome a decision by you to become a Mormon or atheist? TM. Ha. You're a bastard, that's not fair. It's like asking an angel if they would be okay with the kids becoming Satan or the devil. SC. Ha. Very good. What they don't understand at some point is that our work is important, and has nothing to do with them, is separate from them totally. That can cause a weird reaction if they are busy taking credit for our progress, and have a preconceived idea of how things should turn out. TM. Dangerous how? SC. I don't know, sort of like gremlins. If you get 'em wet, feed them after midnight. Break some legs, tie you to the bed, tell you how the book should turn out, that kind of stuff. Or momentum, I hate being repetitive. You can see it with the church and Galileo, Edison with Tesla. It's not unique, it's just momentum, what they feel they can get away with. That's it. My rule is to measure by metabolism and divide by girth, orientation. Metabolism can fool us one way, calm us down enough to finally sit down another. It's what we call the golden calculator, less important in a bar or nightclub, more important in church. TM. You mean because it's intentional or something? SC. I mean if they're engaging with our body suits. The more important your work is, the more isolated you will become. It's important in this world in a way it wouldn't be in the next. People are themselves by good intention, it's not about that for us. Jesus said it, it won't last forever. TM. You keep referring to the movie. Why me? It can't be because I was willing to listen to your rambling. Sometimes my mom called it garbage. SC. No, it was, and also that you are attending school in California. My dream for some reason was University of Chicago. I'm not thinking American Pie silly, though that was a good one. Something different. Sorry I'm rambling, what was your question? TM. Why me? SC. Oh yes, because you were interesting, and you were moving to California. South Side is interesting. I think we need to speak to a different audience. I'm not trying to reach the youth market, people seeking entertainment. TM. So like educational. SC. Sort of, but in a way that someone never would have imagined. I don't mean to be so precise. I am not to edit, not to be consulted past the time my own space is finished with this letter. I plan on meeting you after, not before. I imagine I will rent out the theater in the morning or afternoon and watch alone by myself. That's all I imagine, the rest is up to you. TM. I've never really thought of it. I'll go so far as take some courses next semester. SC. Yes, I would focus less on drama and more on computer generation. The higher rate of density or human likeness makes them nervous. I suggest a 99.7% vividity display to the features, if it's a sort of blurry at the edges, but that's it. Green screen, animation, all of that. TM. So you don't want actors? Can't believe we're talking like this. SC. That part is up to you. I won't know what to expect, I'm fairly certain of it. TM. But you have your own ideas. SC. Yes. TM. Okay. Where were we? I have more questions about dark energy. I'll be gone for a week. Talk soon. 21. SC. They measure the difference of dark matter and dark energy in the momentum. Imagine typing at your computer in quiet, maybe with a TV on, and then a loud aggressive banging at the door. You feel it to your fingertips, your mind seems to explode with 1,000 feelings at once. Consider that dark energy, and then it starts to flow back down. As the energy cascades back through the senses, you begin to rationalize an action, a possible explanation, read the walls a bit, a way to handle the situation. You come down. In a way, it is editing forward the primal display reaction of pure reactive sensation. The original reaction is a stimulus to flight, fight maybe, but the surging energy collapses on itself and begins to cascade down the former thought patterns. It creates a capacity, the context of no danger, it must be Sheldon or something. That's how I think of dark energy. The cascading back down is light mass, what we call chocolates, and it has to do with an editing process from the formal straight line process or power surge. In a way, a straight line is not to experience anything, we needed to learn movement by advancing meaning in momentum. TM. Chocolates, like the surf spot on the North Shore. SC. Yes, that's where we take our groups paddle boarding if they choose to extend past the first section in the river. The idea of the island behavior of waves coming in from all sides, the chocolate ripples coming in and then forming a light pattern back out when they recede off the retaining wall, for instance. TM. Of course, that's how I see it. I see it now. What you mean, the water feature from the park upside down. SC. Sort of. TM. How did you come up with the idea of an energetic containment mechanism surrounding our galaxy, solar system, universe? Which is it? The criminal vortex. How did you come up with that interpretation of it?